Just finally, of course, Mohamed Al-Fayed, that self-made Egyptian billionaire who, of course, bought Harrods department store, has this week died. Of course, his son, Dodi, died with Princess Diana in the car crash in 1997. Esther, what was Mohamed Al-Fayed's relationship like with the royal family?
His relationship with the royal family and sort of British aristocracy and the British government at best was quite tenuous. We have to remember that Mohamed Al-Fayed actually added the Al in his name when he moved to the UK. He always kind of mimicked himself as some sort of renegade royal of a house unknown. He lived in the UK for decades and he was refused British citizenship by the government. So that kind of soured relations between him and the government. He actually threatened to move to France, where he owned the Ritz in Paris, because he thought the French were warmer to him. But he grew up in effectively what was British Egypt. He always had an affinity for Britain and for the royal family. But the British aristocracy never warmed to him, even though he was very, very wealthy and a self-made man by all accounts. You know, the sources of his wealth were always tenuous, and he always seemed like the kind of self-serving upstart that really the aristocracy kind of turned their nose down at. After, you know, his son Dodi's death and Princess Diana's death, he often made claims that, well, false claims that Princess Diana was pregnant with his son's child at the time of the death, which was, again, unconfirmed rumours, and that she was killed because the royal family didn't want her to have a Muslim child. All these sorts of allegations that effectively were never proven because, for all intents and purposes, they weren't true. He only dropped these sorts of claims and these conspiracies in 2008, and he quoted that it was to stop prolonging the grief of Princess Diana's sons that he knew loved her very much. But Mohamed Al-Fayed was a very, very interesting character. He always clearly made it known that he wanted to have some sort of royal appeal. He didn't belong to any house a royal house that we know of, so the Al in his name was always strange. But yeah, he died having kind of unrealised hopes of some sort of affinity or affiliation with British aristocracy that never materialised.
Yeah, it's fascinating that he really seemed to love the royal family, but perhaps that sort of love wasn't received that well. Esther Krakue, we have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.